Last night we arrived in India. We did a night flight from Kuala Lumpur to Delhi. We arrived in the centre of Delhi at about 2 AM last night, and within 5 minutes someone was already trying to scam us. This is our first day in Delhi. So we've just arrived in India. We've got through immigration and stepped out the door. There's quite a lot of people, but no one's really giving us a hard time or harassing us yet, so that's quite good. Apparently there's a metro from the airport to the centre of the city, and our hostel's next to the train station. Terminal 3 you can catch the metro, apparently. So shiny. Metro seems to be really shiny, and it's like a dude sweeping it. Sleeping cleaner. It's not really what you expect. So we've just made it to our hotel room finally. It's 3 AM in the morning and it was quite an adventure. I'll tell you more about it tomorrow. For now, we're gonna sleep. When we went to get on the train, apparently the train had already finished, and so we had to go back upstairs and look for a bus. The bus turned up and we jumped on the bus. But when we got to Delhi Central train station, it was pretty late and there was like a whole bunch of tuk-tuk people there, and we talked to one person. We showed them on our phone where the hostel is and where we needed to go. He said it would cost 30 rupee, which is like less than $1 to get there. In hindsight, it was a little bit too good to be true. We jumped into the tuk-tuk and the dude who organised the tuk-tuk told us about how dangerous Delhi city was.
On the way, many people is dangerous in night time. And this time be careful, money, bag, passport, everything. On the street, on the road, don't walking around anywhere. Delhi is a very bad situation this time because of the election in the political problem, so big demonstration anywhere.
So in hindsight, everything that guy just said was a lie, and there is no riots in Delhi at the moment, and it's not actually that bad, it's just normal. Off we went, and we ended up at this roadblock, and there was a guy who definitely wasn't a policeman, but he had all of the police barriers out across the road, and he said that we couldn't go through to the area where our hotel was, and that we had to go to an information centre to get permission to go through. At this point we started to wonder what was going on, but there's really nothing you can do about it because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning by this point. We went to the information centre, which of course turned out to be a guy upstairs in a little room with a desk. So the guy told us that at the moment there's riots in Delhi and we can't go to our hostel, and it's completely closed, the area where we needed to go to, which is kind of like closing the central tourist part of the city. So it kind of doesn't sound very realistic, right? He called up our hostel and I talked to the hostel on the phone, and the guy was like, no, there's been riots for 2 days. Except we'd actually messaged the hostel early and they had mentioned nothing about riots. So shortly after the phone call, I definitely realised that was definitely not the hostel that we were talking to, and it's probably just some random dude. So the guy tried to sell us an itinerary for the next week outside of Delhi, because remember Delhi is like super dangerous, and the itinerary was going to cost us 600 New Zealand dollars, so like 500 US dollars. And it was going to take us to Agra and a few other places, and included some hotels and some nice shuttles and some nice trains and all this sort of stuff. When we actually asked, like, can we book the train, it wasn't available for 3 days, so again that was very suspicious. So we firmly asked the tuk-tuk driver to take us back to the station, and our plan was kind of just to go and hang out at the station because we knew it was brightly lit up and it was hopefully not going to be too many homeless people and that around. When we arrived, I just handed him 100 rupee, which is like $1.30. He had kind of tried to rip us off, but at the same time I didn't want any problems, so I just gave him the money and we walked away. On the way to the station we saw some policemen, so we went over to the policemen and had kind of introduced ourselves to them and told them what our problem was. One of them spoke quite good English, which was good. They all had their big machine guns and everything ready just in case there was a problem. And they knew more New Zealand cricket players than us probably, and so we had a little bit of a laugh about that. Brendan McCullum and Ross Taylor's names, like they came up. Kind of the trick there is to create some mutual ground and be friendly with those people, and then those policemen will help us after that. They went over and they grabbed the tuk-tuk driver and said, jump in this tuk-tuk, that's going to take you to the hotel. It was going to cost us 80 rupee. So we jumped in the tuk-tuk, off we went, no roadblocks, nothing. We went a different way, and next thing we're at our hotel.
When we got to where our tuk-tuk stopped, where our accommodation was supposed to be, we couldn't see the accommodation from the street. It's meant to be down a little alleyway. The alleyway at this time of night is pretty dark. There's dogs around barking, and it didn't look too inviting. When we got to the accommodation and someone unlocked the door and let us in, it was a huge relief.
This is our first meal in India. We're at quite a fancy restaurant, I'm pretty sure. But we thought we'd just come here because we'd actually heard of the name of it before, and we thought we'd just be careful on the first morning, and hopefully later we can find some awesome street food that's going to be a lot cheaper than that to eat. It's really, really good. And as you can hear in the background, we got this street and there's like every person driving up and down honking their horn. It's great. Check out the tuk-tuk school buses behind me. There's like 8 kids in each tuk-tuk. Apologies for the noise behind me. This is kind of our first crazy Indian intersection. We're going to try and cross the road now. As you can see, you just got to walk across the road. There's no traffic lights or anything. No one's going to wait for you. In general, the traffic's not going fast enough to cause you too much problems. This is definitely the place to come and eat later. So what's our first impressions of India? Wow, it's crazy, it's busy, it's dirty, it's smelly. I think it's going to live up to our expectations. I wanted a culture shock. I think that's what we're going to get. I'm going to end this video here. Like, share, comment and subscribe. We're going to be making more videos of our time in India. Hope you're going to stick around and check them out. You can also see our other videos from Vietnam, Thailand and Antarctica. Thanks for watching.